YouTube, Poison Dog Frog Hobbies. This is Bradley and I'm here with another video for you guys. Today I'll be talking about the little Kenyan roaches that I've had for some years now. These things are really good, so I'm gonna put them in the bioactive section. To me, they're just as good or better than isopods and springtails. Like at breaking down all of the waste and material that needs to be broken down in the vivarium, and your frogs can also munch on them as well. Um, they're not really that big, but the small ones are definitely good feeders for thumbnails and baby frogs. I don't think like big frogs will eat them, but like if you have phyllobates like mints and yellow phylobate, I can't remember the name right now, but if you have those, you can definitely feed them out. I'm going to try to culture them because I think they're really good to have in a vivarium. Some people were saying like something about like the roaches eating the eggs, but they really burrow and they're mostly like nocturnal for the most part. They don't climb. You don't have to worry about them like climbing out of the vivarium or climbing up the glass, climbing up the background. They don't climb. They seem to like burrow. Like when I look down here, they're down here with the isopods and springtails. I don't think I really have any springtails in this vivarium, but there are like tons of isopods in this vivarium. They're in here as well. The little Kenyans are in this vivarium. I need to see some in this one, but I think they'll make like really good feeders or just really good microfauna to make your vivarium bioactive. So these are very much bioactive roaches. So I don't know, like maybe it might be better for like certain other reptiles and geckos. And I found out a little secret that I discovered myself, because I was thinking, right, what is the actual sense of throwing, like this coach is dead. It's dead like this. Let me open this up. Like it's really like nothing going on in here. So I'm like, what's the sense, like when this is done, like depending if you clean the cups, like what's the sense of throwing this away? Like to me, there's no real sense of throwing this away. I'll throw this in my vivarium. I'll just take the paper out. I'm like, let me just throw this in my vivarium and see what happens. These little Kenyan roaches are eating the hell out of this stuff, out of the old media. Like it might have a little mites, but I feel like it's not going to the mites aren't going to overrun this vivarium. So I feel like if you take the bottom of this stuff out and you put it in your vivarium, you should be good for your feeders. Like I've tried different things. Like I told you guys before, I seed my tank and let the bugs eat the fruit fly media, like the stuff that I just make. But these Kenyan roaches are like destroying this lump of old media. Like I was surprised. I'm like, wow, like this stuff is good. So what I'm going to do is get a Tupperware, not Tupperware, but like a shoebox, something bigger than this. I'm going to put some ABG inside of it, and I'm going to take like 10 to 20 of those roaches out and try to colonize them alone in a separate container. So just to see if it works, because for the most part I think that I'm absolutely staying away from thumbnails because they're very difficult for me to raise. Maybe someone else is good with them, but I don't think that I want to deal with them anymore. Like in front of me in these tanks, I have thumbnails. I have some reticulate infants, and I have biolats, and this one, and I hear the biolats calling, but I never see them. And it's like, Then I have the fence in here, and I only see like one of them. I seen another one that was like real skinny, but I barely see them that much. Excuse the fans, they're going off right now. What else? So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm going to stay away from thumbnails. Like when I tell someone else about roaches, I think they're thinking about like those real big roaches that people keep. I have no clue why people want to keep those big roaches. Like, I don't like roaches like that. I lived in the projects when I was really young, and I've seen a lot of roaches, and it's not a pretty sight. But like these roaches are pretty much tropical, and they don't climb. You don't have to worry about them climbing up the background. I would say possibly, I don't know this for sure, but maybe if you had like eggs on a petri dish, I don't really think they would bother them. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. So I'm not 110% sure about that. But definitely, like these are good for like secondary feeders to go along with your springtails and isopods, because they have gone, like they're going crazy over this stuff. They're going absolutely crazy over this stuff. I don't know what it is, but even when I had like the fresh fly media, they weren't like on it like this, but they're trying to devour that lump of old fruit fly media. But this is pretty much like a 2-part video. But you know, like people have asked me plenty of times before, like, oh, what's going on with the little Kenyan roaches? They're like thriving in this vivarium. They're doing pretty well. But I'm definitely going to try to colonize them in a few weeks, and I'll give you guys an update video. But for anybody that does have these roaches, and you do have frogs, just use the bottom of this. I'm telling you, like, this is like a good feeder for them. I don't know what it is. And it's also a good feeder for the isopods too, because they're liking it just as well. Like, whew, like you'll see it like pop up on the screen. Probably popped up on the screen already, but most of that is done in post. But that's about all. So get yourself some bioactive roaches, because these things are definitely what you would consider bioactive. They're definitely a part of the cleaning crew. They're definitely a part of the microfauna, and I think they're just as good, or if not better, than isopods. So until next time, like, don't dislike, comment, subscribe, and enjoy your frogs. Thank you. Shirt's still available.